My name is Ryan Purcell, and I grew up in the Diocese of Wichita. And so I went Catholic grade school, high school, and I was even seminary for a couple years here in Wichita. After seminary, I had become a focused missionary, and I served on 3 college campuses. It was the University of Illinois, University of Kentucky, and the U.S. Coast Guard Academy. For a total of 5 years, after which my chaplain at the University of Illinois called me up as I was in the Coast Guard Academy and asked me to come and be his director of evangelization at a parish in Peoria, Illinois, the Peoria Diocese. And so I said yes, and my wife and I felt the call to be missionaries and really to serve in our parishes. And so that began for me really a time in my life where I wanted to understand how the new evangelization, how this takes root in the life of a parish. And so I was 5 years in the parish ministry, and then I went to diocesan ministry, and I was the director of the Office of Youth Formation for the Diocese of Joliet. So I'm really excited to come back to Wichita. You know, for me, I told you I was in seminary, and a story that I remember very vividly is, you know, I started my first year in seminary, and I was willing to discern God's call on my life. And if he was calling me to the priesthood, I was more than willing. And but middle of my first year and second year, I actually got to connect with Bishop Jacobs, and I asked him. I said, Bishop, I don't know if I'm called to the priesthood, and you know, if I finish this year, if I go into my second year, I will have graduated, and you know, the diocese is making a heavy investment, and I didn't know exactly what to do with that. And what he said stuck with me. He said, Ryan, we're making an investment in you. He said, you're going to either become a holy, strong Catholic priest for our diocese, or you're going to be a strong, holy husband and a father in our diocese. And what I realized is that was very good to hear my bishop say, and I took a lot of comfort in that. But soon after, I became a focused missionary, and I was away from the diocese. So I say I was neither. I was neither a strong holy Catholic priest or a strong holy Catholic father in the diocese. So really coming back to the diocese, I'm excited to give back to a diocese that has given me so much. Yeah, and when we talk about the formation and evangelization, I mean, what it's not saying is programmatization, if that's a word, of evangelization. You know, we're not saying this is the best program to use or the thing to do or the best class to put on. The gospel's always been transmitted person to person. When I like to say that, you know, when people experience a conversion or a reversion in faith, almost always, or perhaps always, they can always point back to somebody, one or two people in their life that have made either a substantial impact in bringing them to come to know Jesus, to come to consider the possibility of life within the church. And, you know, this proclamation, this good news that is shared person to person always bears fruit. And so for us as a diocese, and for us to form individual parishioners, husbands, fathers, wives, mothers, friends, in the ability to share good news, first we have to experience our faith as good news. We don't have to go to the ends of the world to share the gospel. The mission before us is to be able to share the gospel to those in our lives and within our sphere of influence. So this training and formation, we reach the fringes of society like that if we can just share with our friends, our family, and our workplace. This is something that's absolutely available to each one of us, and if we do this in our parishes, it's amazingly fruitful and life-giving.